Well, hello and welcome back out to another edition of Backcountry Trails. Today's episode, we're going to be heading out toward Julian, to the town of Wainola, which is just on the northern edge of Julian. And we're going to be taking the Five Oaks Trail up to the top of Volcan Mountain. And the reason we're going up there today is there's been a lot of activity and a lot of chatter about a female mountain lion with 3 cubs. And she's been cruising up and down the trail, the Volcan Mountain Trail, and hanging out in the meadows. And I was hoping to get a glimpse of either her and her cubs, or at least a sign of the mountain lion and her cubs. So on this day a few weeks ago, I took a drive out there, and while I was getting ready to start the trail, I was at the trailhead, and I saw this older gentleman coming down the trail, and I waited for him to go by so I could record a little video clip. And when he came down, I asked him if he had seen anything, and he said, well, today, not really, but that he lives close enough to walk to the trailhead, and he owns a ranch nearby, and he says he sees mountain lions all the time, and he actually has 3 trail cams set up around his pond. And he said on almost a daily basis, the mountain lions will come down out of the mountains and they'll go down and get a drink at the pond. And he said he's seen the mother mountain lion with the cubs, and he's also seen a bunch of other male mountain lions that have come down. And so I asked him, I go, do you have any photos of them? And he said, yeah, because my trail camera automatically sends the photos it captures to my phone. So he showed me his phone, and he was scrolling through the pictures, and sure enough, there was I've never seen like 5 mountain lions in one picture. It must have been the mom and the cubs and the dad, I don't know. But as he was showing me some of the other ones, he showed me another photo of 2 mountain lions. The front half were covered in blood. So he said they must have just had a recent kill. And I also noticed at the trailhead, there was not only the normal sign that says, beware of mountain lion habitat, but there were 2 new signs, two new flyers that posted recent mountain lion activity. So anyway, so that's what this episode is about. My adventure out to inland San Diego County, up to the top of Volcan Mountain, hoping to get a little more information on that mama mountain lion and her cubs. And obviously take in some great scenery. The weather was perfect that day, and had a good time on the hike. The other thing I want to tell you about is I am going through training to become a backcountry wilderness patrol ranger. It's going pretty good so far. I've got a couple more training shifts I have to attend, and they're actually training hikes. I've already done 2, but I've got to do a couple more. And I also have to spend some time at the trailhead, and the reason why they have us do time at the trailhead is because you have to check permits. You have to have that interaction with the public. You have to, in a polite but firm manner, inform them that they have to have a permit to go on this hiking trail, and that it's also on a quota on the weekends between Memorial Day and Labor Day. So I'll be out there enforcing that coming up in another week. Well, in the meantime, let's head out to Julian, or near Julian, and let's go hike up the Five Oaks Trail to the top of Volcan Mountain. That'll all be coming up next in this edition of Backcountry Trails. Stick around. Well, good morning, and welcome back out here to another edition of Backcountry Trails. Today we're in eastern San Diego County on a road near Wainola, which is just, I guess, north of Julian. And the reason I'm out here today, we're going to be doing a hike up at the top of Volcan Mountain. We're going to be taking the Five Oaks Trail. It's a little side trail that spurs off of the main road that goes up to Volcan Mountain. And the reason I'm coming up here, I'm kind of excited about this. In fact, I've got the camera rolling right now. This is a really windy road, so it's kind of one of those, if you get car sick, this is not the road to be on. It's not that far, but it is windy. Trail cameras over the last 2-3 weeks have captured female mama mountain lion with 3 mountain lion cubs. And they've been roaming around up here. They've been seen on the trail near Volcan Mountain. They've been seen at the Santa Isabel East Preserve, which is just to the left of me here. And a couple years ago, Lindsay and I actually saw a mountain lion on this trail up to Volcan Mountain. And the odds of us seeing a mountain lion during the daytime hours are pretty much slim to none. But having said that, I actually saw one during the daylight hours, and there's been several still images captured off the trail cams just in the last 4 or 5 days of the mama mountain lion and her cubs. So today we're going to be taking a trip up the side trail, the Five Oaks Trail, up to the top, and see what we see. You know, I've got my hopes up that we'll see some sign of a mountain lion. Either we'll see paw prints or something, but you never know. And it's just an absolutely stunning day today. Daytime high is supposed to be 75, but I don't think it'll be 75 up here. It'll be cooler than that. You have to look for a side road. I just saw, I had to take a side road to get up here. I took a different route because of all that construction I've been dealing with. And I was going down Highway 76, which goes between Oceanside and Lake Henshaw. And there was about a dozen turkeys 2 feet from the road. I mean, there's a squirrel right there. So I do have to keep my eyes open because, you know, the odds of seeing this mama mountain lion earlier in the morning are higher than later on in the day. And one of the photos, in fact, that road right there with that big sign, the big telephone poles over the top, that looks like the area where that photo was taken. So I don't know where the trail cameras are up here. Usually they're kept pretty secret so people don't mess with them. But anyway, hopefully we'll run into something today, and if not, it'll still be a great day for a hike. So anyway, I'll catch up with you in a couple minutes at the trailhead as we head on up to the top of Volcan Mountain. Well, good morning, and welcome back out here to eastern San Diego County, sort of near Julian, just outside of the town of Wainola. Today I'm going to be taking a trail up to the top of Volcan Mountain. And I'm going to be taking the Volcan Mountain Trail a little ways. I'm going to take a spur trail called the Five Oaks Trail. It kind of goes up a ridge line and works its way, reconnects back with the Volcan Mountain Trail, and works its way up to the top. And I would have started 20 minutes ago, but I ran into this local who had just come down the trail. He owns a ranch right around the corner. In fact, he walked here from his house, and he told me that he's seen 5 mountain lions, and he's got 3 trail cameras set up on his property, and was telling me that he has pictures on a cell phone of 2 mountain lions, calf covered in blood, like they just killed the deer, and another one of 4 or 5 mountain lions all together. He's seen mom, the dad, the 2 kids, mountain lions cruising around. So they're here. He says he's got still cameras and video from his property of mountain lions taking a drink out of his pond. And he said he just went up a little ways up the trail and came down, didn't see anything today. But he did send me, I talked him into sending me one of the photos of the mountain lions. So I'll pop that up here in a second, and you'll get to see one of them. You know, they're nighttime trail cameras, so the views aren't that great, but it's pretty obvious what they are. So anyway, I've run into several people going up the trail, and I warned them as well that the mountain lions have been active in this area. And he said one of the mountain lions that he captured recently on his trail camera was a little skinny and emaciated. So that's the one you got to kind of worry about, because he's having a little more trouble catching deer, unlike the healthier, larger ones. So that's the one you got to worry about. Well, anyway, I'm going to be heading up the trail. I'm going to be going through this gorgeous entryway into the Volcan Mountain Preserve, and follow me up the trail. Well, if you've never been out to eastern San Diego County, especially the mountain regions, this area is right next door to Julian, and Julian is famous not only as a gold mining town back from the late 1800s, but also for apples. They have the Julian Cider Company, makes great hard ciders. They've also got the Julian Pie Company and Mom's Apple Pies here in Julian. We're going to be making a stop at the Julian Pie Company like I always do when I come out here. And but boy, what a gorgeous area out here in the Julian Wainola area. And there's a couple of wineries. In fact, Minjahini Winery and Volcan Mountain Winery are both 2 local wineries that they're right around the corner. In fact, at some point we might even, that building right over there, the red roof, that could very well be Volcan Mountain Winery, because there's a parking lot and there's picnic tables out there. We actually went there, I don't know, a couple months back and did a tasting. But anyway, it's just absolutely stunning up here today. Weather's going to be perfect. It's going to be in the low 70s, not a cloud in the sky, and a nice cool breeze. Hopefully we'll see something. Now I'm just a little ways up the trail and look at this massive oak tree. This tree's probably been here for over 500 years, I bet. It's probably got a 25-foot circumference at the base. Well, just to give you a size comparison, on the base of this oak tree, I'm almost 6 feet tall. So I've got probably at least a 6-foot wingspan. So the diameter up here has got to be 8 feet. Probably got a circumference of 25 feet. And the long branches, this branch here probably goes out 50 feet. And the rest of these are probably 20. Great spot for a tree house, huh? Well, as we're working our way up the trail, if the numerous warning signs were not enough, how about this one? Shows you the differences between the mountain lion and the bobcat, and also some other signs of mammals that are common up here, the coyote and bobcat. Wow. That is impressive. Well, this is the start of the Five Oaks Trail right up here. And this trail is the spur trail that goes along the ridge line. It's got tremendous views to the west. There's a big sign here talks about the Five Oaks. And last time I was up here, the mountain lion came out of the Five Oaks Trail at the upper end and crossed the road. So this is a little more secluded than the fire road. We'll see, maybe we'll see track or mountain lion, who knows? Maybe we'll just see snakes. We'll see. Well, and there is some poison oak along this trail. Not a lot. This is the first few sections I've seen. And as you can tell, I'm out of breath, but leaves of 3, let them be. And as we get closer to fall, they start turning a bright angry red color. Makes it easier to identify. Well, as I'm working my way up the Five Oaks Trail, I think now is a good time as any to talk a little bit about mountain lion safety. Like most predators, mountain lions, they hunt dusk and dawn and throughout the night. Most people aren't on a trail in those times. In fact, here in the Volcan Mountain Wilderness, the trail is actually closed from 6 p.m. until 8 a.m. and that's to avoid having to deal with hikers up here at dusk and dawn when the mountain lions are active. And if you do happen to run across a mountain lion on the trail, which is highly unlikely, things to keep in mind is that we're not their normal prey. They usually go for small game, rabbits, squirrels, mice, and some of the larger game, some of the larger mammals like deer. In fact, the guy that I was talking to said that one of the pictures that he captured on his game camera was a couple of mountain lions covered in blood. They had obviously just killed a deer. But if you do happen to have that unfortunate encounter with a mountain lion on the trail, things to keep in mind: don't turn your back and run. Stand your ground, put your arms way up over your head, yell, scream, make yourself look like you're the apex predator on the trail, not them. Let them know you're here, which I'm sure they already know, but slowly try to back away if possible. If they go off of the trail, you can continue, but make sure you keep an eye on the direction on the trail they went, because they could double back coming from behind you. Don't crouch down. Don't tie your shoes. Don't drop your pack and bend over to dig something out, because that could confuse them. It makes you look smaller, less intimidating, and more game-like. So if you do get attacked, fight back with everything you have. Kick, bite, scratch, punch, whatever you can, because your life depends on it. If you do get attacked, you are going to get injured, and it's not going to be pretty. But main thing is to just be aware. You know, there's a lot of mountain lions out in the country, and there's not a lot of mountain lion attacks. That tells you something. So anyway, not to scare you or anything, but just something to keep in mind, especially if you're solo, like I am today on a trail that's had mountain lion activity recently. But it is daytime and it's warm, so I don't think we're going to see anything. So maybe we'll get lucky. We'll see a track. I'd be happy with that. Anyway, this is a steep section of trail. This trail is only a 4.9 miles round trip, but it's got almost 2,000 feet of gain. So in that 2.5 miles, you're gaining almost 2,000 feet. So it's pretty steep. And I don't normally come up the Five Oaks Trail. I usually go up the main Volcan Mountain Trail and come down the Five Oaks Trail. So since I'm going up this trail, it's a little steeper, but change of scenery. And boy, what a great scene I have up here near Julian. Well, I came across this plant on the side of the trail, on the Five Oaks Trail. This is called a sacred datura. It's part of the nightshade family. It's a hallucinogen, and Native Americans would, believe it or not, they would take the leaves and steep them in hot water, and they would make a hallucinogenic tea. It's also called Jimson weed. And occasionally, every now and then, teenagers discover this on the internet, and they think they're going to make it a hallucinogen, and they brew it too strong, and the next thing you know, they overdose and they're dead. So it is part of the nightshade family. It is poisonous, so you want to stay away from this. It's okay to touch it and stuff. You just can't ingest it along the Five Oaks Trail. There's more of it over here. This isn't just the only place that has it. You can see the white trumpet flower. Sometimes you'll see this growing alongside the highway in the more rural areas. But in this case, it's right along the trail, on the Five Oaks Trail on Volcan Mountain. And what a tremendous view this is out over the apple orchards of Wainola. We're actually looking north and west. And we're not too far from the top of the Five Oaks Trail, where it rejoins the Volcan Mountain Trail.
228 degrees, 7 miles, close to Valley Center High School. It is small in volume, moderate in type, white in color. I can see the base of the column.
All right, well, that's a smoke report overlooking Valley Center in Escondido from Booker Fire Lookout. Where I'm at, I cannot see it. Maybe when I get to a little higher up, I'll be able to tell. Now, as I'm working my way up this trail, listen to the sound this bird makes. A single chirp. I bet you didn't know this, but mountain lions also make a bird noise. I discovered this fairly recently, and that was chilling because I've heard that sound numerous times on the trails. Fortunately, this one is from a bird, but some of the other ones are not from birds, they're from the mountain lions. Just to keep on your toes and be alert. This is also a great view of Julian. The town is down there. You can see part of the highway that You can also hear a lot of chainsaw activity. Way off in the distance is Cuyamaca Peak and Stonewall. And as we work our way to the left, you'll get a glimpse of Anza-Borrego Desert off in the distance. Well, as I'm working my way down through this last section of the Five Oaks Trail, you can see over in this direction over here, there's a cut in the hillside. It works its way up to the top, and way up on the tip top over there, there's a rock promontory with some well-described signs that show you what you're looking at from up there. They also have some telescopes you can look through. I just saw a couple of hikers walk up there. And just a minute ago, a huge, large raptor flew really low across the valley, did a circle and headed out that way. And last time I saw him, he was down there. So he had a wingspan of at least 6 feet. So it could have just been a turkey vulture. Could have been something else. We do have golden eagles that live up here. I didn't get a real good look at his beak and his talons and the underside. It was all in the shadows, but you never know. I'd love to see him do another flyby here as I'm working my way up to the top of Volcan Mountain. All right, well, I have just come out of the Five Oaks Trail. This is the Volcan Trail that we're going to be taking down. And from up top, this is where I saw the mountain lion. In fact, you can see a game trail right through here. That is not a hiking trail. That's a game trail. That means deer come from the upper slopes. They work their way down into the tree line. There's probably a water source down there, and that's where the deer probably bed down, and that's where the mountain lions do their hunting. But we're going to be continuing up this direction, up toward the summit of Volcan Mountain. Stopped to catch my breath here along the route up toward the top of Volcan Mountain for this tremendous view. There's a nice cool breeze to boot. Sun is warm, but it's not too bad. It's probably in the low 70s. The breeze is nice and cool. Do have a tremendous view to the north and west. The ocean is off that direction. It's just in the marine layer. Still got a ways to go, another mile, I guess. Haven't really seen any signs of mountain lions yet, but keep our eyes open. Now, as I'm working my way up to the upper elevation, I see this lovely incense cedar growing through the sunlight up here, the first one I've seen. And what else I noticed is over here, the vegetation gets a lot more lush. So obviously down in there, that's where the water is. And my guess, that's where the deer are bedded down right now. Well, as we're getting closer to the top of Volcan Mountain, this sign says this was the Volcan Mountain Observatory Outpost. It was on a short list of locations for placement of the Hale telescope. Turns out this was not chosen, but here's what's left, the foundation of a chimney. Well, this is the last section of trail up to the top of Volcan Mountain, which is just on the other side of those telephone poles or power poles. And off to the right, there's a little point on the corner of the trail that's got some signs. We're going to go take a look up there too. Well, this is the pretty much the top of Volcan Mountain. We are going to go a little ways around the corner, but this spot here is interesting. Got a great informational sign on the birds of prey up here. And they've also got this, which is also interesting. There used to be a sign here that told you what this was. I think it's a bird of prey observation post of some kind. We're going to take a break here in the shade and relax by the picnic table, and I think I'm going to have a beer. Well, I'm taking a break up here along the trail at the top of Volcan Mountain. I'm actually at the top of Volcan Mountain right now, and I thought I needed a cool refreshment. So today I've got a Ballast Point Brewing. What is this? This is some kind of a hazy IPA. And it's kind of wedged in there pretty good, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to get this one out to show you. Let's see if I can wedge this one out of here. This is my koozie. It keeps everything nice and cold. In fact, it's really cold. I can feel it already. And it's coming out. It is, this one is an Aloha Sculpin Hazy IPA. That's what this one is. But hopefully it won't fizz up when I pop it. A little bit. Good hazy IPAs. Good refreshment on a hike. I've been listening to Cleveland National Forest from the Fire Service radio's frequencies and picked up a couple of smoke reports already. Both of them have been extinguished and turned out to be small fires on residential ranch land areas. Don't know if they were doing trash fires or not. I know right now there's been some pretty severe fire restrictions, so I'm pretty sure none of that is allowed right now, so they're getting on them pretty quick. But saw two big, huge raptors flying on the trails. I was working my way up and got a really close look right down the trail, and they were both turkey vultures. So they're up here scouting it around. Here's another sign right here, attention, recent mountain lion activity. So I got to give them credit, man. They got a lot of warning signs. In fact, after I said that, I should probably look behind me. I ran into some really nice hikers down the trail a little ways, and they were ahead of me, and they were coming down as I was coming up, and they said right at the top up here, 3 deer jumped out of the brush, scared them, and ran down the hill. So there's 3 deer up here roaming somewhere. So I'm going to take a few minutes here, relax, and enjoy my hazy Sculpin Aloha IPA and some good old Spam. You have a great view of Julian from here. Around the other side there's a bench. I go take a picture of that. I was under orders from the wife on the way home today when I get down into Santa Isabel. I got to go into the Julian Pie Company. I got to pick up a slice of Dutch apple. And I'm also going to run into Dudley's next door and get a loaf of that Irish potato bread. It's so soft and delicious. It'll go quick. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying this breeze. This breeze is nice. Anyway, the hard part is over. I made it to the top. This is one trail when actually going down is downhill all the way it will be. So it'll be a pretty fast descent back to the Jeep. Maybe I'll get lucky and I'll see a snake. I haven't seen anything today, to be honest. I haven't seen any rabbits or squirrels. I've seen a few birds. I saw the 2 turkey vultures and a couple of lizards. That's it. And it's kind of hard to look for tracks because it's so dry and hard packed right now. If it would have rained within the last week, maybe we'd have a better shot at it, but I'll take it. Still got a gorgeous view today. Well, I'm on the tip top of Volcan Mountain right now, and I got a great view. This little monument here has got some couple of little bronze plaques. It's got some glass inlays on this stonework here, and it's just a phenomenal place to take in a view to the east over all of Anza Borrego, and I believe that's San Felipe Valley, as the S2, I believe, works its way down through Anza Borrego, down toward In fact, I can see the Salton Sea way off in the distance on the other side. So it's got a pretty good view here today. And then behind me is that observation point and a little platform for viewing. And just a few minutes ago, I talked to these two guys that were from Encinitas, and they were telling me that they saw nothing really spectacular, but while we were talking, I saw this big, huge raptor soar right over the top of us. Had a kind of a gray and white pattern on its wings. I'm going to have to look that one up. It definitely wasn't a turkey vulture, and it wasn't a red hawk, so I'm going to have to look that one up. It could very well have been an eagle. So we're going to keep our eyes open as we head down further around the corner of this little tippy-top island on the top of Volcan Mountain. But I can't believe how clear it is to the east. What a tremendous view. I'll turn around and I'll point the camera out this way so you can see it. Great spot to finish my beer before I start heading down. Wow, what a tremendous view from the top of Volcan Mountain. And this is my view. We have Granite Peak over here on this side. Whale Peak is way over there. I've actually been to the top of Whale Peak. It's actually a really nice hike. You have San Felipe Valley down at this end, and then Shelter Valley down there. And in fact, all the way down there, you can see Scissors Crossing. And Scissors Crossing is where the Pacific Crest Trail crosses underneath and works its way up to the top of Grapevine Mountain, which is over there. So the highway continues this way, works its way to the north, and way off in the distance, you probably won't be able to see it on the camera, but you can see the faint outline of the Salton Sea. And all of that is from up here on the top of Volcan Mountain. So if you've never been to Volcan Mountain, you owe yourself a trip up here. It's a really nice hike. It's got tremendous views. It's close to Julian. It's close to Dudley's and the Julian Pie Company. And it's got a phenomenal breeze up here. And maybe if you're lucky, you'll see some wildlife. Wow. Pretty impressive, huh? This is where the mountains meet the desert. Right here along this divide. Impressive, huh? Well, I noticed these coming down the trail. I didn't see them on the way up. These are what they call Sierra gooseberries. And believe it or not, they are edible. I don't know how you get past the little spikes, but they're a member of the currant family and they are edible. Well, I'm working my way down the road from Volcan Mountain. I'm almost back to the Jeep. And I'll be there in another minute and a half, I think. I'll take a break there, break out the ice chest, and then head down to Santa Isabel so I can get my 2 slices of Dutch apple and go over to Dudley's to get my Irish potato bread. Who knows, maybe I'll get a nice coffee while I'm at it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode of Backcountry Trails. We didn't see any mountain lions today. We really didn't see any signs either. But I guess that's a good thing. Maybe another day. Meantime, I'm back here at the trailhead, the Volcan Mountain Wilderness Preserve, out here just outside of Julian. Anyway, don't forget to hit that click and subscribe button, and tap that like button, and I'll see you next time, hopefully down the trail. Take care. Bye-bye.
Well, what'd you think about this edition of Backcountry Trails? My trip out to Volcan Mountain, huh?
It was a good hike. I wish I would have seen more mountain lion tracks. It was too dry. It's been a pretty dry year, and I didn't really get to see a lot. I didn't see any snakes either, which was kind of surprising for such a warm day. But it still was a good hike. And of course, on the way home, I happened to stop by Dudley's to get my famous Irish potato bread, and they didn't have it. And the gal told me that they don't have it during the summer months. I don't know what that has to do with Irish potato bread, but they don't make it in the summer months. But I ended up buying a rosemary bread, which was phenomenal as usual. And of course, right next door is the Julian Pie Company, so I had to go in there and get a couple of slices of Dutch apple for me and the wife, and then drove home. So anyway, it was a good day. Any day out there in the summertime. Summertime, it's because of the heat. You got to go to a higher elevation, so it was really nice up there. The other thing I wanted to mention was I've done about 6 or 7 shifts now up at High Point Lookout as a fire lookout up in the Palomar Range of the Cleveland National Forest. And this last weekend, just a few days ago, on the way down the mountain, I came around a corner and off in the wooded area right next to the dirt trail I was on, ran across a pretty big mule deer. It was just a 4-point buck, but it might have had some more nubs. Maybe he's working on his 6-point status. I couldn't really tell. Got a pretty good look at him, and that's the guy that's in the background here on my desktop for the wallpaper. I just love that picture. And he was with another little buck that was a little forky, and 2 girls. So about this time of year, hunting season for archery has already started. Rifle season is around the corner, so all the deer from the National Forest tend to migrate onto the observatory property where there's no hunting. I think they know that. So I was actually on a right-of-way that we have through the observatory to get to the High Point Lookout, and I think they feel safe there, and that's why he wasn't in any hurry to run away. It was kind of cool. Anyway, I got a few more shifts to go. I also have a few more hiking shifts for my wilderness ranger training, and now 1 shift at the trailhead that I split between the trailhead and the ranger station, just working on public contacts, and that won't be a big deal for me. So well, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to hit that click and subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you get the latest updates to the channel as I post it. And I've noticed that I'm not getting a lot of traffic on the videos. I think because I've changed the name, it's a little harder to find. In fact, even me myself looking up, doing a Google search or a YouTube search for my channel name is hard to find. So anyway, so if you have any friends that like to watch outdoor videos or YouTube videos, tell them about the channel. The best way to get there is go to YouTube and type in the filter search and click on search by channel name, and that's how you'll find Backcountry Trails, and you'll see all my videos. So anyway, take care, be safe, and enjoy the rest of the summer. Fall is right around the corner, and of course, that's the best time to hike, in my opinion. So anyway, take care, and I'll see you down the trail. Bye-bye.